Well, he is the reigning California Sunoco IMC stock car champion in the 49 stock car, and also the reigning Antioch Speedway champion in the Bill Bowers owned 49 Friesen Performance IMC Modified. He's got a whole lot of accolades to his credit, as well as the defending Central California Clash Series champion, and coming off a win where he won both in the modifieds and the stock cars at Merced with the Central California Clash. We're talking about Troy Foulger out of Oakley, California. But before we get to the interview, make sure wherever you're listening or watching from, you hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Well, he's a renowned double-duty driver in the Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program. He pilots both the Sunoco IMC stock car and a Friesen Performance IMC Modified, both numbered 49. Troy Foulger. Troy, great to have you on board with the podcast. I know you and I, we go back a ways from your early trips up here during IMCA Wild West Speed Week, and it's always great to have a chance to chat with you and talk racing, of course.
Yeah, right on. Thanks for having me.
Well, you've had a pretty good year, 2024. 10 wins so far this season in 18 feature starts. That's a pretty good winning percentage. And what's really cool is 3 times you've won in a modified and a stock car on the same night, including last Saturday at Merced Speedway during the Central California Clash.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a good season. I kind of cut back a little bit on racing this year with having 2 kids now. It definitely makes it a lot tougher to get out in the shop or work on the cars and travel to the different racetracks. But trying to make do and try to hit some of the better races that we can get to and bring the family along with me. So I got to make it family oriented now. So it definitely makes it a lot funner.
No doubt. And it was really cool to see last year at the Speedway Motors IMC Supernationals fueled by Casey's. That looked like it was an enjoyable trip for you and the team. Yeah,
for sure. It's definitely a lot of fun, a lot of competition there. We'll be heading back there again in, I think in 2 weeks. We're going to take both cars again.
Nice. And I mean, it's one of those deals where there's been people that I'm sure people ask you, man, what's it like? And it's not really, you can't describe it simply. You just have to go because it's indescribable.
No, for sure. Like there's so many cars, so many competitors. It's tough to win anything there, let alone make the show. I've been fortunate enough to make the show both times I've been there in the modified and came up a little short in stock car, but hopefully we can change that this year.
Well, and with you racing so much in 2 divisions throughout the season, that no doubt keeps your skills sharp, albeit they're 2 different types of race cars, but it keeps you sharp.
Yeah, definitely. It helps out just, being able to read the racetrack a little bit better and see the changes throughout the night, running both cars and give some really good input. I have, some really good guys and really good help behind me. So it definitely makes my job a lot easier. And then their input goes a long way too, because what they see and what I feel and, their ideas on what we can do to improve the race car. So it definitely helps me out and makes it a little easier on me.
Well, and I'm still getting used to calling you a stock car driver, but you've been rather successful at it. You won the state championship last year for California and won the championship at Antioch Speedway, doing the double there, winning the modified championship as well. How much of an eye opener or much of an adjustment was that going from strictly racing modifieds and then transitioning to stock cars?
It's definitely different. I ran the late model for a few years, and we did the late model and the modified. Bill owned them both, so the double duty thing's a little different. The stock cars definitely they're a little slower and they don't handle as good. They don't have as much side by. You can't charge the corner as much, but it's definitely cool. They're all wheelied up and they're a handful, so it makes it a lot of fun. The modifieds now they're so technical and there's so many adjustments. It makes it really stressful. So it's nice because the stock car, I feel like you could just bolt tires on it and put fuel in it and go. And I feel like the modified is totally different because you have to think about it a lot more, load springs and change shocks, and there's so many adjustments you can make throughout the night that where, hopefully you can get the car close enough where you don't have to make a ton of changes, but it's definitely a little bit more stressful, I think, in the modified. So kind of just a refreshing deal to get in, and something different, and it's definitely a lot of fun, but it all makes it worth it.
Well, and what kind of went in the decision process to go into the stock cars? Was it simply you were taking the modified so many places and they just so happened to run stock cars and it gave you an option to run another division on the same evening?
To be honest with you, I kind of like the stock cars, but they haven't really been too big around California. And then Mike Shear, him and his mom have been helping me for a lot of years sponsoring the modified. It just so happened to be he had a stock car, and he made me a deal I couldn't pass up. So he definitely was the deciding factor of me racing stock cars, and then at first I really didn't have anything other than just a car, and Bill came on board, and we took one of our old open motor modifieds and we put that in, and we did really good the first year, and then kind of just did our own thing and put our own motor in it, and it made sense to bring two cars at a racetrack. It's really hard to just justify to go to the racetrack and race one now. So, like I said, we've been trying this year to just try to go to some more of the money races and go to the races that actually make sense. So, and a lot of times the stock cars are usually on the same night as the modified, so that it really just helps out, and it makes sense to bring them both.
And that's got to be a little bit helpful, too, when you go to Supernationals at Boone to run two divisions, albeit it's got to be maybe a little bit stressful and maybe a little bit more hard work for you and your team, but anytime you can get more laps at that place, I would assume is the better. Oh,
for sure. I mean, but the crazy part is they get more stock cars there than they do modified, I think.
Yeah.
It's insane. And, the competition level is crazy in the stock cars and just as crazy in the modified. So going there with both cars, it's a ton of work. You'd think you have a ton of time, but both cars, it makes it a lot of work, and they just happen to be all on the same night. So sure. It's not split up at all. So, but it is just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and like I said, I couldn't do it. I have a bunch of really good buddies that come help me out all year long, and then come out and help me there. They make a trip out of it and come have vacation, and I'm really fortunate that I have some really good buddies that love racing and love help working on the race car.
Well, I was going to say, if you run a sport mod and a stock car, you kind of have it made a little easier because you can just try and qualify Monday and Tuesday. Worst case, you got to run an ROC somewhere in between Wednesday through, or an LCQ Wednesday through Friday. But yeah, modifieds and stock cars, they are the magical pairing for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and of course Saturday for the big dance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. You think there's a ton of time, but I mean, they're so efficient on their program. It's like you got to know what race you're in, and then know when the farming sessions are coming up, what heat races you're going to be in to determine on like what you want to do to the race car. So you can kind of plan your night out a little bit after you draw. So that does make it nice to kind of know where you're at, and they, like I said, they run a strict program, so you kind of know where you're going to be at throughout the night. So it definitely makes it nice.
Well, let's go to the beginning for you. What got you into racing, and how did you become a race car driver?
My brother raced when I was real little, but he raced dirt bikes, and he was always getting hurt, and I always wanted to race. I always wanted to race dirt bikes because that's what I grew up doing, and it just so happened one of my buddy Nick, grew up with him, Carlo. He's raced forever. They ended up having a go-kart for sale, and my dad bought it, and it's been history ever since. I've been racing go-karts, I think, since I was 9, and I grew up racing all around with QRC Tour, All-Star Tour, and then moved on to racing cycling and Red Bluff, Lakeport, Vallejo Speedway, Chowchilla. So we traveled a lot in the go-karts, and then Dad ended up having to give me a sprint car. So we ran sprint cars for a couple of years, and I ended up having to meet Bill Bowers down at a race at Watsonville, yet again with Nick. I was down there helping him with his late model, and met Bill, and sometime he ended up asking me to drive his modified, and I was kind of racing the modified and the sprint car. Bill was helping me out with the sprint car a little bit, and my dad ended up selling the sprint car, and I've been racing for Bill ever since. And Mike Shear helped me with the stock car, and in between there, Bill bought a late model. We ran late models for a little while, and then late models died in California. It kind of sucks. There's no more late model racing around California. Mm-hmm. But so then it just was strictly the modified for a long time, and then got the stock car and been running both of those, and it's been really enjoyable and fun. And my wife's been a really big support, and she goes to every race, and now we have the kids, so now we bring both kids to the races, and I feel like my daughter's liking the races a lot, and so as long as my family's enjoying it, I'm going to continue doing this for a long time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome that they're enjoying it, because your wife comes from a racing family, the Big Thomas family that from like the Atwater Merced area.
Yeah, so it's a funny story. That's how I met my wife. Me and her dad ended up winning the modified and the sport mod race the same night. I think it's usually Father's Day weekend. I think it's like NASCAR weekend. They usually have a big race at Antioch, but it was called Supernationals, and we ended up both winning that night. And there was just some blonde girl taking a picture of her dad, and I just happened to ask her dad who she was, and he told me not to think about it. So yeah.
Did you find her on your little pit bike with her hat backwards and popping wheelies and peacocking in the pit area after that?
Oh yeah, I mean that's how it was. I actually I won a trophy dash. I think it was at Stockton, and she just happened to go there. I think with her friend. I think because her dad was racing, and I won the trophy dash. And at Stockton, you drive in, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to be my trophy girl?" And she's like, turned around like, "Me? No, thanks."
Boom.
But yeah, and then hook, line, and sinker.
I was gonna say hook, line, sinker.
Yeah. So then now we're happily married, and we have 2 beautiful children, and life.
Well, and it's just been incredible to watch your career over the years, because I consider you one of the all-time greats when it comes to modifieds with IMCA. I mean, all your championships at Antioch, your successes in the championship at Merced. You've won a state championship back in 2020. Last year, you were phenomenal during the Central California Clash. It's just so cool to see, no matter where you're at in California or even up here in Oregon. I mean, you won the R. Charles Snyder Salute twice at Southern Oregon Speedway. You were able to obviously find speed, find your way to the front, and win and do very well. Yeah,
no, I mean, like I said, I've been driving for Bill, and Bill gave me hell of good cars, and I I wish we could make it up to Oregon a lot more than we do. And I think we're going to try to do some more big races like Arizona. I think this winter, you know, going to Vegas, you know, for a while, you know, I mean, we just tried to go to where all the fast guys were going to be at, because I mean, that's the only way you're going to get faster is racing against the best. So we tried to make it a habit of that, of trying to go to where everybody's going to be at, or all these big races, and see where we stack up against the competition. And I mean, I love to win, so I don't really go to the races to hang out and have a good time. I mean, I do. I love the friends and family I've made over the years, but I go to the races and I'm a competitor and I like to win. So I strive to try to learn as much as I can. And, you know, I'm fortunate enough. I have some really good people behind me to help me and make me fast.
Are you looking to find that adrenaline rush, but you can't because you're not at the racetrack? Well, check out the IMCA TV Replay subscription library to have access to thousands of hours of racing for just $24.99 a month. Relive all the moments of the Speedway Motors IMCA Supernationals fueled by Casey's at Boone Speedway, the Harris Clash at Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota, the IMCA TV Winter Nationals at Cocopah Speedway in Somerton, Arizona, Florida's Clash on the Coast, and dozens of Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program racetracks from across the nation, as well as the IMCA TV Dirtcast podcast. Plus, 25% of that $24.99 monthly fee goes towards the Driver's Point Fund and is a great way to help out your local racers. In 2023, over $97,000 was paid out to IMCA drivers directly at over 50 racetracks across the country. Please note that live broadcasts are not part of the replay subscription. That's IMCA TV. IMCA TV, where America comes to watch racing. Well, the number 49, where does that come from? Is that a Bill Bowers thing, or is that something you brought to the table as a selection of a number?
Yeah, that's Bill's. That was Bill's number he picked for me. I used to be number 31 when I raced go-karts and sprint cars. I guess there was a number 31 guy that raced modifieds, and I guess he was pretty terrible. So he didn't want me involved or anybody associating, like, oh, is this that guy? Like, nope. So I think that was his favorite race car driver growing up. I can't think of his name right now.
Well, wasn't Brewster Baker from Six Pack, though, right?
No. I actually didn't even know about that movie till a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, that was Bill's, like, favorite driver growing up, as he was a kid growing up. So he ended up talking to the guy that used to have that number, and we ended up putting that on the modified, and it's kind of stuck ever since.
That's cool. Yeah, made it, and it's kind of made it as your brand number and everything. Everybody sees the 49, they think Troy, which I remember hearing your nickname for the first time, Tricky Troy. Is that some sort of like an eBay deal gone wrong, kind of, or how'd you get that nickname?
No, I don't know. We were just kids and trying to figure out some nicknames, and just so happened we just came up with that, and it kind of just stuck ever since I was a little kid. So, I mean, I do like playing tricks, and I'm a practical jokester, and I joke around a lot. So it's actually stuck ever since.
Yeah, I'm just thinking a perfect intro song for driver intros, Run DMC. It's Tricky, and that would be for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, a lot of people have played that over the years, and you know, I like that song too, so it works out good.
For sure. Well, obviously you mentioned your family, and no doubt that that's a busy task in its own, let alone working, you know, for a living, and also racing as much as you can. But when you guys are away from the racetrack, are there some cool things that you guys try and do to kind of get away from the race scene and just kind of have some dedicated family time?
Yeah, we like to go on vacation. I like to go to Mexico, to Hawaii. just travel around, see new places. My wife likes traveling a lot, so it definitely helps out. She's a really good travel agent too, so it makes it nice. And so she's always booking travel for us. So
Nice.
it makes it easy. It makes it easier. But yeah, definitely. She has 3 brothers that race, and her dad still races here occasionally. So you can imagine our life. We go to a lot of races throughout the year, and lately it seems like they race pretty much all year round now. So she comes up with some good vacations, and we do that, and definitely like going out on the lake.
Well, what do you like better? Do you like Hawaii or Mexico? I mean, they both look amazing. I've seen the pictures that you guys post. Is it a toss-up between the two, or does one have a better, more sentimental value than the other?
I like Mexico personally. I think it's awesome. I'm a big Mexican food, so I like going down there and trying new food, and venturing out into. It's a beautiful place, and everybody's so friendly down there. Every hotel is so nice, and it's affordable too. I feel like Hawaii's a little bit more on the pricey side. It is super nice, but yeah. And then it's nice because Mexico's like a 2-hour flight for us, so
yeah,
makes it super easy.
Because you guys go to Cabo, you don't go to the Yucatan or Cancun, correct?
We've been to Cancun and Puerto Vallarta, Cabo. I think Cabo is probably my favorite. And then it's crazy because Puerto Vallarta, you can get both. You can get the desert and you can get the rainforest. So just depends on what you're experiencing. And then I feel like Cancun's just super touristy. It's just like one strip. So
sure.
They all have their differences, but I think Cabo is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm trying to get some ideas of some different places to go. So, you'll be my travel agent there. So I'll be bouncing ideas off of you. So,
yeah. For sure. Yeah.
For people that have never been to the Oakley area, that Oakley Antioch area, there's things to do. If someone's there, they've never been there before, what are some cool things you recommend that they could try or do? Maybe not in Oakley, but like in the neighboring area.
It's right on the Delta, so there's a lot of bars and restaurants. Delta boat, bring it on out, and you can go anywhere from Oakley to Discovery Bay to Stockton to Sacramento. I mean, the Delta pretty much takes you anywhere. We're a quick trip to San Francisco, quick trip to Sacramento, or my wife's favorite thing to do probably is to go to South Lake Tahoe. We were going up there quite a bit, and just makes it a little tougher now. But we try to go up there and go hiking, and there's a lot of hiking. What else is fun to do around here? I'd say go to Tahoe. I think that's the best thing.
There you go. Go to the California-Nevada border.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like 2.5, 3 hours from us. So try to go up there quite a bit, and there's so much to do up there.
Sure. I've seen pictures, and but I've never went. It's been somewhere. I've been past Donner Lake, Donner Pass, Boreal, all that great stuff, but not Lake Tahoe. But perhaps one of these days.
Yeah, if you like snow, it's an awesome place to go for snow and snowboarding. Kids friendly. They're really dog friendly, and we have 2 dogs, so we take them everywhere with us. So if they're not dog friendly, we can't go.
Sure. Well, it's been great catching up with you, and for you telling the world your story of how you started racing and some of the wonderful things that you're doing. People that you want to thank and sponsors that you want to thank. I know that you've got some great people behind you, and feel free to thank other people like your wife or Bill again.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't do it without my wife and my kids. They support me, and Bill's been behind me for 13, 14 years now. Buffalo Muffler and Auto Repair. Danny, he's been a huge help to me. I think he's been with us for he's probably been with me since the beginning, so probably 20, 25 years. He's always helped me, and he's always coming to the races and supporting me. My stepmom, Stacy, with her work, Southern County Lubricants, they've been behind me since the beginning as well. Sponsor me all my fuel and oil and anything that I need, and supporting. All Spec Sheet Metal, Todd Gomez. I mean, he's a big supporter in racing in general. He races himself. So it's been really nice having him. Solon Rebel, Bree, she's been awesome. Her husband Devin, he's been helping me on the race car for quite a while. Margie and Mike Shear, the Shear family, they've been behind me for a long time. Ability Bail Bond. Vince, Tim, Devin, Mike, Big Mike. He's been my crew guy for a long time, and he comes to all the big races, supports me in both cars. Valley Crop Dusters, 1-2 wraps. Josh has been doing the wraps for a long time. I think that's about it.
Awesome. And people that can support your race team, can they do that monetarily through t-shirt sales or sweatshirts? Do you still have an apparel run going?
Yep. We have t-shirts. We limited sweatshirts. Need to make another order. We have stickers, hats. We have little pullback cars. So, that's kind of the stuff I sell, make a little bit of extra money to help out along the way.
Awesome. And is there a website or a social media page people can go to make those purchases, or is that just at the track kind of deal?
At the track, Facebook, Instagram. Me and my wife, we'll get it. We could ship it anywhere. So, yeah. Any way you can get in contact with me, and we'll make it happen.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Troy. I know you're a busy individual, and I look forward to seeing you at Supernationals here very shortly, and I hope it's a solid trip, and best of luck the rest of the season, of course.
Right on. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions.